And we are recording. What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of Overthinking Understanding Podcast. I'm your host, Viktoriya Moore, and we are back with another episode. What's going on, beautiful people? We're coming back with another episode. We have a very special guest. Can you introduce yourself, Sam? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yep, I certainly can. So, hello everyone. My name is Sam Mitchell. I run the podcast Autism Rocks and Rolls. It's a podcast about autism and how we cope with daily struggles that you may or may not understand. Through the podcast, it's grown so much. I've helped sponsors, a board of 8. I also am an event planner in my hometown, Indiana, is where I'm from. I've also done speaking engagements. I've spoken in Oklahoma, Orlando 3 times, Canada twice, Stewart, Florida, and Washington, D.C. But what this podcast and nonprofit I run is trying to do is change the stigma of autism, because the way we've gotten stigmatized for so long is just completely and utterly ridiculous.
Yes, yes. I'll be the first person to admit I do not know too much about autism besides what is kind of portrayed like on television. And we know sometimes on TV it could be portrayed as more, I say like embellished or made more elaborate. So I really appreciate you for coming on to the show. Just like I said, I've been wanting to get you on the show. Uh, Thank you for being so flexible with coming on the show and just even the details of the show. Like you haven't been picky. You like, hey, this will work for me, and I'm like, well, that'll work for me too. And now we're here for the episode. So can you give us a little bit more about Autism Rocks and Rolls? Like, how did you come up with that name?
Well, the namesake came from the hobby of rock and roll music, so I'm a rock and roll geek. I like to listen to it a lot. That's probably what I might do tomorrow if things go to plan.
You'll be doing something with rock and roll.
Probably maybe listen to the music or ZZ Top.
Okay, and then so you're saying that the way it was autism been stigmatized. Obviously, you're speaking from a personal perspective. How does the world, from your eyes, how does the world teach you being somebody with autism?
Well, the world teaches me that I see things from a lot different perspective. I mean, it's just very different compared to some of my peers.
And like, how would you elaborate on that? Like, is it like for somebody like me that wouldn't know, like, or maybe I know autism come like, how does it work in your mind, just for how you feel? Like, I see stuff so much different. Like, where do those differences come out? Like conversation or just
Yeah,
how you act?
they come out differently in conversation, and I'm very short and sweet to the point with elaborating. That's a great example right there.
That's
And another example is I'm kind of like Temple Grandin, where I don't understand chit chat or small talk. If I want to talk to you, there's a point behind it. Otherwise, I'm gonna remain silent.
that. And what's so I wouldn't say funny about that, but the way how you said like autism gets like this negative rap, or the stigma of it is negative. It's a lot of people that's like that. Like I'm like that. I'm like straight to the point. I'm very socially awkward. But how do you feel? Do you think that a lot of people have autism that has never been diagnosed, or autism traits show up in people more than we have came to realize?
Oh, a lot of people with autism are it's growing, because a lot of people either know someone with autism, their family has autism, or they know someone else who has relations to autism. And it's definitely growing because a fun fact for you, 90% of men are autistic because of the way they are structured, which is something else I love, and a lot of men love too in general, is structure.
Oh wow, yeah, where is yeah? I did not know that. I never would. And men, is it
Yeah,
more?
90% of men are developing autistic traits.
So it's something that could be developed.
Right, like mine was when I was 4,
Oh wow,
but just the way that men are, just because men are
the
men, clearly.
structure. Yeah,
Yeah, just because that's what men like, or structure. I'm not saying it's nothing against women.
yeah.
It's just what men are wired a certain way, women are wired a certain way.
No, of course, no, of course. And structure. So speaking of structure, like is structure that something that goes along with autism?
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Gotta have it, or I'm not gonna make it in life at all.
And so, okay, so I can say like me being in the service 10 years. I talk about the military a lot because I have did it for so long. But it's definitely a parts of my life now that has become more structured. That I'm getting like I'm on the process of like separating from the service, and I feel like that'll be an issue going into the civilian world because I know stuff is not as structured. Like the military tells me where I have to be, what time I need to be there, what uniform that I need to be in to do this certain thing. And the civilian world, not so much. It's like, hey, this is the time, show up. Sometimes you may not be on time, or just like now, like even small delays or small conflicts and starting on time, it kind of like bothers me. And then I have to like mentally tell myself, even like how we doing this podcast, like mentally tell myself like, all right, calm down, focus on hand. You can't really, but I feel like it has been developed through being in the service and all of the structure that it has given me. When I do have like small inconvenience or stuff doesn't start on time, it's kind of hard for me to get over. So how does it work being an autistic, like you say, male? Is it kind of like the same way, like one little rock in your plan kind of like throws you off for the day or for a little bit?
Kinda. Except when I was younger, that would be the way bigger time. But now I actually have the maturity to understand that life happens. So, like, for
Yeah.
example, what happened with you, that was not your fault to a point. I think
Yeah.
that was technology,
Yeah.
which is not the nicest to us sometimes. It's
Yeah.
I get frustrated when it's the other person's fault. If you
Gotcha.
say you're going
Gotcha.
to be there on time, be there.
Exactly. Exactly. So what? And so being in college, like we're doing this episode from your dorm. How does that work? Like, are the professors pretty much on time, or any engagements and stuff you have to do? Because I know you say like you have spoken before. How do you navigate towards that when you know it's the other person's time? And man, I'm sorry to know it's the other person's fault, but then you still have to, I guess, get your job done.
Well, I mean, it's a little small inconvenience, a professor being late. It was like,
Okay,
come on, really? I'll just do what I can do. I mean,
gotcha.
he should be more responsible, but what can I do? Kick him in the butt to get to class?
Yeah, try to set them a reminder. So as a child, you said now you're more mature. As a child, was autism more difficult to have?
Oh God, you have no idea. Yes. um, Socializing was a bit of an issue, still a bit of an issue today. If I get in a big group setting with one or more, not one or more, excuse me, two or more people. But usually with socializing, it's conversations. Like with virtual, I can do it a lot easier because I have time to process the message. But
Okay.
if it's pretty much, for me at least, on person, you gotta think of something with a response and a snap, or you're coming
Yeah.
across as rude. Like, say
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. I understand that. And like I said, it's funny. That's why I wanted like I, we kind of get caught up on differences, and some of the things that you're saying is really how some of us are naturally. I know, like even with me personally, having conversations with people, I'll respect like this quick answer, and then if they don't have this quick answer, I think that they're not interested or whatever. But if the shoe is on the other foot, somebody wants me to reply quick, but I'm trying to process. Then now, like you say, it's like okay, I'm awkward. I just need to say something, and you might end up saying the wrong thing just to get a response out.
Right?
Like,
You're in the military. You might get this analogy real quickly, or you were. There's no quick, sir, yes, sir.
yeah, yeah. And then a lot of times, Roger, or yeah, Roger tracking. You trying to they be like, did you understand me, Roger tracking? Yes, sir. And you just like, okay, what conversation just took place? Like, what did I just
No,
say? I
it
was
would be
tracking
like,
to.
do you understand? Uh, that for 5 seconds. Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah. And then we definitely have us. What I've learned to do now is be like, can I get back to you, or am I able to get back to you on this because I don't have an answer. or I get that's really that's like one of the go tos in the service. I'll get back to you, or can we follow up? Because sometimes, like you said, it just be so much information coming so fast, and it's like if you say you're tracking, or you say Roger, or like you say a quick, sir, yes sir, and you don't do what you need to do, now you created this whole big other problem that it's not gonna be good or
Yeah,
conducive to a
and the
good work
problem for
environment.
me would be doing push-ups because I can't do good push-ups.
Truthfully, I let you in on a little secret. Like it's a lot of people in the service that's not able to do good push-ups. It's a lot of us. I won't say us. I was good at push-ups before I came in. I just say that, but we definitely have had a lot of soldiers now that's not as good or as physically fit as you would think a soldier is supposed to be. And I do commend the army for allowing a lot more, like you say, this negative stigma. And I know some people think like you have to be perfect. We go through this strenuous process to become a soldier, and you're not gonna be perfect though. You're not gonna be perfect. The army's gonna ask you to meet these certain requirements, and then they're gonna build you up to be the person that they need you to be. So we definitely have, I will say more people that speak more about being that have autism that's in the service that you wouldn't think. And it's like, okay, that's pretty cool. Because like you say, the stigma is just so with the stigma. Speaking engagements that you take, do you cater more to talking to adults or children? Because where do you think the stigma lies? Like, is it adults or is it children seeing somebody different and
It's
treating
mainly
them as
adults,
okay,
but for me, I try to do both
okay,
clearly because kids have it and adults have it.
okay?
But the problem is with these adults, when you grow 18, the services stop.
Oh
No,
wow,
that's not right.
yeah,
Some services exist
but
with
not a lot.
adults, but not a lot. And it's ugh.
So, how do you navigate that? I know I have a brother who was diagnosed with cancer at like 20. I think he was like 20. He done had it for 4 years, like 27. So yeah, he was like 22, 23 when he was diagnosed with cancer, and that's the thing that I was shocked to see that is not a lot of programs for adults, and it affect adults. Like it just blew my mind how like you have, I think it's the Children's Center, and like Phoenix is no cost to the parents. You get accepted to the program, you're able to do this, and just to witness somebody that's in pain going through something like that, and there's not a lot of help out there. So on the autism spectrum side, like, are you an advocate for it? Like, I know Autism Rocks and Rolls is your movement. Is it like donations? Like, how do you work to, I guess, kind of find better resources for the people that's in your community?
Well, speak about it for one thing. And then I
Okay.
know these events are kind of could be like silly and fun, but they're for a purpose
Yeah.
to raise money so I can do stuff to say the word that we need more resources, people,
As adults, for sure.
as adults, and to keep the ones that we have currently because they're not bad. St.
Yeah.
Jude's Children's Research Hospital, I bet, has saved a lot of children.
Yes.
Well, but where's the St. Jude's Adult Hospital?
I agree. I agree with that so much. Like I say, that, speaking on my brother that's going through it, that's one of the most frustrating things. And I didn't realize how big of a trigger it was to me until like I'm walking in the mall and people are like, we're raising money for cancer, and then I go talk to them and I'm like, do y'all do anything for adults? Oh, well, this is more for children. And you just kind of sit there like, okay, not saying like you don't want to help the children, like it's nothing like that, but it's like like adults need help too, and like you say, it's not like programs do not exist, but it's not a lot. It's not a lot,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's too many free programs that exist. Like just because somebody is 18, like you saying, autism, you already see the world different. Now you're 18, you view the world different, and now you're just pushed off into the world and told you're an adult, and that's scary because even as regular adults are people who are considered normal or do not have autism, people look at them different, and it's like we need just as much help. I'm 18 now. I'm an adult, and stuff that I wasn't doing. just a year ago I'm supposed to be able to do now, and I'm supposed to be able to navigate this life right now as an 18-year-old, and it's like that does not make any sense. So with the Autism Rocks and Rolls, I know you have, like I said, you have many episodes. How do you go about the topics that you speak on? I was able to catch a couple of your episodes. Like I said, I follow you on Spotify now. How are you able to, do you just, is it actually like a thought process, or is it something
There,
that you're passionate about, you want to speak
there's a
on?
thought process, and I'll get into that in a second. But I'm just
Okay.
curious, which two did you check out?
Which here? I'll go to it right now. It was, I think I only follow myself and yours.
Is that because I'm special?
Well, I'm telling you, I did not know that you
I'm
had a
ki-
podcast.
I,
That's
I know. I'm just kidding.
so it is. What was it? Transforming Lives with Enduring Hoffman, the Doctor of Self Worth,
Yep.
and then Gifted by Jake the Snake Roberts.
Snake Roberts.
Yeah,
Ever heard of
yeah,
him? He's a wrestler, man.
yeah,
Nice guy too.
yeah. It was a good episode. And like, if you see when I went on there and seen like your little Autism Rocks colors, that's the reason for the thumbnail that I have for the promotion of this episode. I made it green because the background of your stuff was green. I thought it was cool, so I wanted you to catch that. I
Well, hey,
wanted you
green's
to
my favorite color, so I ain't complaining.
yeah. So I seen it. I seen that green was on your stuff. Well, let me see. Let me see if I could do it for the camera. But can you show it to the camera? Yeah, but I follow. Can you
Thank
zoom
you.
in? Yep, I
I
follow
see
you.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I thought that was so cool. Like I say, I have people on here that has been guests for the show, but they didn't have their own podcast. And like you say, one way to bring attention to autism is to speak about it. And I was just blown away by like, oh wow, he has a podcast. And not only do you have a podcast, it's a successful podcast. And I was just scrolling through. I'm like, you got, they what, like over 200-300 episodes? Like, it's a lot.
Something like that.
It's a
I
lot.
lost. I lost count.
It's a lot. I need to be getting some mentorship from you, man. I'm like on episode 36. I'm like 4 years in. I'm like, this is amazing.
Well,
Speaking
thank you
to,
very much.
yeah, man, keep going. I think that is so dope.
I
So you said,
appreciate it.
I know we talked. You said you're anticipating a book coming out. Are you writing a book? Are you bringing on other writers for the book, and you're just kind of like producing it? Like,
It's my mother's book,
okay,
and we're trying to get to the organization, but God, we're having a hard time finding a publisher. But luckily, I think we got someone on our bag.
how,
Back. My bad.
so how does it work? Like, do y'all prefer to go through a publisher? I know now, it's the 2024s. You could do like a lot of self-publishing. Is it a reason that y'all
I
looking for a
refuse to do
publisher?
it. I
Okay,
refuse to self-publish because there's going to be more books that are going to be searched than mine, so we need to get out through word of mouth.
word of mouth. Okay, so publishing is, I guess, like better promotion or something.
Yeah, they wanted to, but I told them no, or I will be stepping down from this book.
Okay, so it's your mother's book. How do you got your parents? Is your mom raised you?
Yep, parents
So
have raised me. I'm lucky
okay,
to have them both, thankfully, still alive.
that's a blessing. So is the book geared more towards like parents raising children with autism, or is it
It's a
more
children's book, and it's about
gotcha?
a lady who is a park ranger, but her obsession was nature, because we believe
Okay,
that these fixations those on spectrum have are amazing,
yes,
because it's going to lead to their future.
okay,
But this book is about the lady giving a tour about a park and having flashbacks
okay.
as a child.
I'm looking forward to it. And so the lady herself has autism.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's amazing. And so, like you said, you're blessed to have, or fortunate to have both of your parents still living. How was that? Like, are you able to speak? I know, like you can't speak firsthand because it's your parents, but just having a child with autism, like, would you say it's more difficult? Was it easier? Like, how would you speak about that?
Well, I gave him a call and asked because that's a question for the parents. I was just a
Yeah.
child.
So to you, So to you, like you didn't really process it. Like, is it any time that you can remember as a child where you became frustrated with your parents?
Oh, I've been frustrated. 8 to 10, I was a monster
Okay,
because it was just autism, trying to figure out the world. Puberty was hitting,
yeah,
lots of factors.
okay. I I think it's amazing. I think it's so interesting, and like I say, I know I keep saying it, but I'm just gonna keep saying it throughout the episode. Just thank you for speaking out. Like you say, it's negative stigmas that come on people that are different or are assumed to be different when it's so many people in the world. Like you say, it's something that can even be developed. So many people in the world that is going through autism or that children has autism and I know for like I said, I can't say firsthand. I don't have any kids, but from what's been shown, it's like parents get frustrated, the child is frustrated, and if the education was out there and if the resources were out there to help these families, I think it'll be a lot better. Just like we have resources to help put food in the house for families or shelters and different things like that. I definitely think it needs to be a bigger community and more spotlight brought on to autism and help some of these people because the spectrum is wide, isn't it? Like I say, I
Eh,
don't know. I can't speak. I just know from
yeah, there's a spectrum. There's a spectrum. There's some who are non-speaking. There's some who have mindsets of 3-year-olds and can't go to the bathroom on their own, for example, or brush their teeth. There are some who are like in the middle of the end, who might be able to go get a job, a small job like cashier at Goodwill, but can't
yeah.
live on their own. And then there's some like myself who's by myself without parents, but probably just a slightly developmentally delayed.
Okay. And I can speak from being in the service. Like we have a lot of soldiers who have. Well, I know two personally that have children that are non-speaking, and they have had to bring their children to work before, and that's like I say. I know for this one NCO, it gets frustrating. Like he done broke down about it. And like I say, his child doesn't speak. He speaks to the frustration of just wanting a child to hear your child say dad or mom or actually be able to articulate what's wrong with them. And a lot of times, like little man, he just get frustrated or he throws stuff or he just screams. And like I say, I can't speak to it firsthand. I could just on an everyday basis, but from what I have seen, like I say, my heart goes out to those parents. So, what is the earliest that a child can get diagnosed with autism? Like, do you know that information?
Birth.
Birth. What? Like, how does that work? Like how does it work?
I think I think there's a lot of tests that get done,
Okay.
and I think mainly with the birth, it goes through others. So maybe like there's some who said it's hereditary. A
Mhm.
lot of people don't agree. There's some that do. I'm mixed with that. I think it's possible. Like if I were to have a child, there's probably a chance that my child's gonna have autism because of me having it. Not saying
Yeah.
it's gonna happen,
Yeah.
but it's a possibility.
How do you feel? Okay, so I know we done spoke a little bit about bringing awareness. How do you feel about shows like the Good Doctor? I think that's is it the Good Doctor, the doctor that had the autism, and then like
Yeah.
shows like I think it's Love with Autism. Like, how do you feel about those shows? Because I know in the Good Doctor, he didn't really have autism, but he's someone that's portraying to have autism, and I know on the last season they actually brought in a female doctor who actually was on the spectrum and had autism. And then, of course, on like Love, Finding Love with Autism or Autism Love or whatever, those people actually do have autism. Like, how do you feel about the representation for on TV shows?
I think it's both good and bad. Depends on
Okay,
what you look at.
all right,
I mean, there's a movie called Temple Green with the biggest autism advocate out there, and it literally shows you how those on the spectrum think, or most people think on the spectrum because she's the biggest autism advocate out there. But I think there's some who that need that interpretation of yes, they're gonna have meltdowns.
yeah.
But here's what you can do.
I can still function. I can still do my job. It just comes with meltdowns. Do you feel like those with autism? Because meltdowns is normal. We're human, right? Do you feel like those with autism who have meltdowns? Do you feel like it's more attention brought on them because they have something to blame, like this is autism. But you can have an adult male, female, like I say, perceived to be normal, and they can have the same type of tantrums or get upset and kind of act in the same type of manner, but it's just blown off to, oh, they just have an attitude or they're having a bad day. Like, how do you feel
Yeah,
about stuff like that?
well, it's difficult to tell. I
Okay,
mean, your child throws a teddy bear, yeah, that's a tantrum. But
okay.
have you ever had a meltdown or tantrum because the Walmart buzzer went off spontaneously, or that you couldn't go to a basketball game because the basketball buzzers? It's really
Oh wow,
sensory issues.
yeah. Oh wow. And I can see, like I say, the military perspective, certain noises, some certain stuff being too loud can kind of irritate you. But that's why, like you hit on earlier in this episode, stuff can be developed. Like that's why I could completely see how you can develop autism. It's a lot, especially what you're saying, sensory issues. It's a lot of stuff that even textures. Like I know textures or the separation or the eating of foods, so you're navigating going through college. It's a big campus. Do you ever find yourself like having to take a breather or anything like that? Like if another person who's looking up to you, you're on this episode, you're on your podcast. What would you tell somebody with autism that looks and aspire to be like you, being on college, you know, taking care of themselves for the most part, and basically like functioning throughout the college world just like everybody else.
Well, you're asking about breathing. I take plenty of breathers
Yeah.
because after a long day and school and socializing, I'm done after probably around 8. I mean, I'll still
Eh,
do it, but I'm done dealing with it because I'm not the best of people because
yeah.
I do not like them. Yeah,
You are
it's
not
on.
alone. You are
Yeah,
not
I'm not.
alone.
I don't like my own species. But
You are not alone.
to answer your other question, I would say the best idea you can do is just wait because someone's gonna find you interesting.
Okay.
A lot of people have found me interesting.
Yes.
Why? I
Fascinating.
don't know.
Check
But
out the
here we are.
episodes. Re-listen to your episodes. They're all in there. I like I said, I find it fascinating. I'm like, this guy got how many episodes? Like, I'm scrolling. I'm like, Autism Rocks podcast. I'm putting it in Google. I'm like, cause I know like the website, it wasn't really nothing. You say the book, but I'm like, this. You have a podcast. Like that's freaking amazing. And even the guests you got on there, I'm like, this is amazing. So have you at your college specifically? I know we're not saying any names or anything, but is it a group like a autism awareness group or just a support group? Because I know college has a lot of groups. Is it anything geared towards autism at your specific college?
Yeah, we have a program that I use called Experience VU that helps students with disabilities. And honestly, if it wasn't for them, I would not be going to college and I wouldn't be surviving.
Shout out to them. Can you say the name again?
Experience VU.
Experience me. That is awesome. And is it? But you said disability, so it covers all disabilities.
Yep, physical and mental.
Okay. Okay. No, that's pretty great. And how did they help you? Like, just shining the light on the program that has done helped you. Like,
They
what do
got
they
my
do?
back. They got my back, and they can welcome me when a lot of times it's hard for me to feel welcome in an environment because of past bullies.
Man, bullies. Bit hitting on bullies. Hitting on bullies. What did you experience? Like I know I experienced bullies. Like I said, I know it probably resonates with a lot of people to experience bullies. With bullying, did was it more like as a child, as an adult? Like what
It
did
was
you
behind the
experience?
back bullying, and it was dealing with a lot of exclusion because I believe exclusion is a format of bullying.
Oh yes, yes, of course, 10,000%. And it's yeah, okay. And being with that, like how you saying, like men kind of develop autism. 90% of men kind of develop autism. Did the bullying come more from men or women?
Surprisingly, equal genders.
Oh wow, that's so sad. That's so sad. Yeah, that sucks. Like you said, humans could suck sometimes. It's like we could be the greatest, and sometimes we could just suck. Kind of make you want to be a dog or a cat or something. Maybe a bird, fly away from the chaoticness. So with women, is it like you say exclusion? Would it be more like people ignoring you, not wanting to talk to you? Like how would
Yeah,
it be?
not ignoring me, not acknowledging me that I'm part of the conversation in some shape or form.
Okay.
Pretty much just thinking I'm a ghost.
And how do you deal and navigate through situations like that?
I confronted people and told them, like, this is what's going on. Or I pretty much leave and then I let them be like, what's going on?
And which way have you seen, or would you say is more effective, or does it all just depend?
It all just depends.
Okay. And there's neutral genders. Like if you would confront a woman, it'll just all just depend. If you would confront a man, it all just depends.
Yep.
Okay. And so that's been great that you have that program at your college, high school, elementary. Can you remember any programs like that that kind of like helped you develop or become like this man that you are today? Cause like I said,
Well,
your episodes, all the episodes you got like that. I know it's probably not a big deal to do, but I'm literally 4 years in on my podcast and I'm like on 30, 34, 35 episodes. So just the consistency and the conversation, like I said, I've only heard 2 episodes, but I'll be tuned in. I won't miss another one. Like I just think that's amazing. Like that's
thank you.
definitely.
But to answer your question, crap, I lost it. What was it?
It was about like I know you have the program in
Oh,
college,
okay. I remember
high
now.
school, or the
Got it. Okay. So mine was with middle school. I had a TA come in mainly for like the inclusion classrooms. And
okay.
then high school, it was I would do the lesson, the lecture, notes, whatever it is, and then go to a resource room where I would get some accommodations and get maybe extra time on tests, help with homework.
Oh, so that's amazing. So it is stuff that's geared. Was it just like autism, or how is it kind of like your college class where it's all disabilities, like kind of like
It,
encompassed into one?
it's all disabilities.
Okay, and but you were still able to get the, I guess, the one-on-one time you needed. Obviously, like you're in college to kind of help you succeed.
Yes, ma'am.
So you said it earlier. You was talking about like autism and how it can make y'all hyper focus. What do you hyper focus on? Like I know some people are good at math, drawing. Like the list goes on. What like do you have like a
Broadcasting.
rock? Well, duh, right? That's what you're going to school for. I, I find it fascinating. Like I call it the superpower. I always said like I call it the superpower. 'Cause just to even be able to be so hyper focused, and I like I say, I know the good doctor wasn't maybe not the best representation for y'all, because like the actor was just acting, but I do find it amazing that I think he had like memory, like he had a very good memory, and he was just able to help so many people. Like I said, it's a TV show, like I get it, but I still look at it like a superpower, even for somebody to be so good at math and just the way that you see numbers for the society and the world to label somebody weird, and it's just like these people have superpowers. Like you're normal, but 2 plus 2 will never be 4 in your eyes. Like you do not understand how numbers work, and like you say, like you have people that bully or like exclude people where we could learn so much from these people that are like they're people, they're regular people, but that has this superpower, which is autism, whether it's full blown or like on the spectrum. Like, how do you feel about that? Or would you agree or disagree with that? Like, do you look at it as a superpower, or is it more like a disadvantage in your eyes?
Give me both.
Okay,
It's great for academics
okay,
and it's great for work,
yeah,
but it sucks when it comes to the socializing.
yeah. So with the broadcasting, like, what don't you have to socialize a little bit more, like broadcasting? Like, how does that? How
Oh
does it
yeah,
work? Yeah.
yeah, and I hate it.
So let me
But
just say,
it is what it is.
you just take your little breathers and kind of like navigate through it.
Yep.
I think that's amazing. Like if y'all autism rocks and rolls, like I'm telling y'all on this episode, I wouldn't tell y'all to do nothing that I don't do or I wouldn't do. Check out the podcast. Check out the podcast. It's a wonderful podcast and it's deep. If you like series and you like getting the stuff where it's not a few episodes and you gotta wait for more episodes, he has so many episodes. I tell you, it's well, it's I think it's like 300. No exaggeration, I think it's like 300 episodes. I was blown away.
Well,
And
it's
then like
312. It's like season 3, episode 12.
uh,
I don't want to write the word, so I put like 312.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot. It scroll. It's a lot of episodes.
But yeah, scroll anyway. There's a lot
Yeah,
of stuff on there.
it's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good topics. The 2 episodes that I mentioned, I enjoyed them from beginning to end. I definitely enjoyed it. So with the t-shirts, so Autism Rocks and Roll, it's a podcast. You talking about the book that you're doing with your mom. With the t-shirts, is it just something that's there, or is it part of a bigger organization?
It,
Like is
it's
the
mer- it's
merch?
merchandise. We sell them for $20. Want one? Give me a holler.
Yeah, hey, I'm giving you a holler. I'm giving you a holler. I'll have it ordered. See, I planned on ordering it and then being able to wear it to this episode, but like I say, the way the servers work, it don't always go as planned. Cause
Yeah.
I'll have it in my mind. If I don't write stuff down, I don't know. I guess me getting older, I'm 28, and it's just like I'll completely forget. I try to stuff so much stuff into my mind, and if I do not write it down, or if I don't do it at the moment I'm thinking about it, then I'll be like crap. Cause that was big. I just wanted that was the biggest thing. I'm like I'm gonna order a shirt, and I'm gonna wear it for the episode. But I like I say, I'm definitely a supporter. I'm looking forward to having you back for more episodes. Like I said, you're just one of the coolest guests I done had. You reply one of the quickest replies. I done had so many episodes set up, and people like, oh, we need this, or I'll send them information, and it's hard for them to get back. So, like I said, I don't want to make it as if I'm saying it because I'm passionate about people feeling like people are different, and I just want to just give you your flowers and shine the positive spotlight on it. Like it's wonderful. Do you have any other organizations or like any tests as far as like autism? Like if you have somebody that's an adult or that's a child that need to get tested, like what advice would you give them,
Uh,
or who would
uh,
you send them to get tested?
doctors to send them there. But another,
Okay.
you were talking about a couple things I can go into. First of all, you look wonderful, by the way. You are pretty for
Oh,
28.
oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
And
my
then
parents did that.
my parents did this.
Yeah, see, yeah, you have some man.
And then for
Handsome and smart.
t-shirts wise, I'll text me and we'll talk about it.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be perfect. That would be perfect. And what do you envision? Like I say, your success with your podcast. I know the book is gonna do great. You got the merch. You're getting ready to get the website set up. Like for you, you're like a life goal, or maybe like the big goal that you have to bring awareness to autism. If somebody came and said, "We got you $1 million back in for whatever project that you have going, take this money and invest it into that project," what would you do? Like, what is the end all be all for you?
We're in the works of educational modules to help
Okay,
parents understand a diagnosis is to be dreaded news, and there's some other stuff, like one's going to be about autism in the workplace.
okay. And autism in the workplace, can you elaborate on that? Like, I know you said you kind
Oh,
of stretch it
sure.
apart. Like,
There's a
what would you
lot to go
say?
with that. I can go
Okay.
into a ton of with that information. But
Hey,
the
we
problem
got
is,
time.
yeah, the problem is though, a lot of people on the spectrum are not able to work, despite them being probably one of the best employees out there, because of something that's social, not understanding something, not getting feedback, and so they fire them off the bat.
Instead of having
And it's also
patience.
because, pretty much, but instead of employers also not wanting to learn about it.
Exactly.
There was literally a conference I went to speak at called Neurodiversity in the Workplace. The part of that conference was about literally these people who are going, who want to hire these people with talented abilities, but don't know how to handle them.
But they wanna. So I could. You want to hire somebody, and it's just like you say. You gotta take somebody's good with the bad. You want to hire somebody because they're great at the skill that you're trying to hire them for. But the other piece that comes on with it, you don't have the patience or the resources or time or whatever to invest in this person that you want to hire. How was that
Set,
conference? Like, what was was it like an end point? Was it like an eye opener? Was it other companies there? Like I was thinking like HR, like who would put HR
yeah,
representatives?
HR people were in there, other
Okay.
bosses. think one guy from Microsoft actually was there, but it was just I think it was an eye opening for me as it was for the other.
Okay. So you feel like they took more information away. Like you already know how it is. You just kind of you was the one opening eyes for this conference.
Exactly.
Okay. That's so. How do you do speaking engagements? Like, how are people able to book you? Are they just like, Sam, I want you to
Send,
come out and
yeah,
speak?
send me an email at info@autismrocksandrolls.com. Not a hard guy to find. I got a contact page. You want to schedule down the website, autismrocksandrolls.com.
What you
Pretty easy
sent?
guy to find.
Yeah, and to work with, and to work with. We go reiterate that, and to work with. So autism rocks and roll, like you said, sensory issues. Which you love in rock and roll. Are you able to attend concerts? Like,
Yeah,
that's such a
it's not mine's not noise,
okay.
but I've known some who would like if they went to a concert, they would hit the bathroom quick. Not because of having to use it, but for hiding. One of my great friends, I've invited to go to a concert. He told me no, and it was because of the sensory issues.
That he
Didn't bother
couldn't
me,
do it.
but although I'd love to, but whatever. However, mine's with feelings. So I'm not talking about like you're feeling unhappy, like the feelings outer, the like someone touching you, which I don't mind people touching me. That was
But
just an
you,
example.
yeah, yeah.
Mine's wet t-shirts.
Wet t-shirts.
Yeah, it's awful. It's like someone pitching your skin.
So don't sound does not want to get caught in the rain.
Oh
It's
God, no.
it's
There's a if there was an option, I'd be wearing an umbrella and a poncho at the same time.
you stay away from the service, man. They don't care. We was out there the last exercise I'm actually coming off of, like it was a bunch of cows. It's like we always surrounded by cow poop, but it was just like bunch of cows coming through. I was happy that it didn't rain, but it's been like
Yeah.
the wind, the
Well,
smell.
it's
I'm
so
like,
hot. I don't mind the pants.
it's
It's the
just a
stinking
shirt.
shirt. Just a shirt. You're not going
So
to see me swimming up in the creek anytime soon with a shirt on.
I would just that was actually the first thought. Like I don't know. It's just me as a person. But I'm like, I don't care like how much weight you have on, what you look like underneath. I do not think shirts are supposed to be at swimming pools. Like, I just think it's so weird because you get into the water, you want to feel as free as possible. Of course, women, we have like bathing suits, whatever. Guys have trunks, speedos, whatever. But sometimes you'll catch the people with like the muscle shirts or the t-shirts in the water, and I'm like, that ain't uncomfortable. Like that's not heavy. Like especially if you got a good grade of cotton, or not even the best grade of cotton, but you got a cotton shirt on and it get wet. It's just like no, it's too much water. Too much water. It feels
Yeah,
heavy. I don't want no parts of it.
honestly, if you want to do a wet t-shirt contest, go to a bar. That's easier.
Yeah, at least try to win some money or some free buffalo wings or something.
Hey, buffalo wings. You're speaking my language. Now that's the way to win. That's the way to win my heart. Don't give me a bouquet of flowers. Give me a bouquet of buffalo wings.
Hey, we the same. I love what. No, I gotta see if we the same. Wingstop, B Dubs. Like who do you prefer your wings?
I don't care.
You don't really care.
Buffalo wings. All I require is they're spicy, and I'm sweating a little bit.
I like that criteria. I like that criteria. My producer in the back doing this. She agrees. She's like, yeah, we definitely agree with that. I love buffalo wings. I love hot. It's funny that she agrees because she eats mild, but I'm like an original hot person. I like hot. Like I want it to have like a spice. Like you say, if it keeps my nose running or if it gets my nose to running a little bit, I want to be able to taste the flavor, but at the same time, I want it to be hot. I just don't
See,
like
that's where
hot and you can't taste it.
I'm the opposite on that. I don't care.
You don't care? You just want it hot? It's just
Yeah, it's weird. I actually like the feeling of it.
oh man, so you don't even care? It just oh no. Oh no. How you so speaking of that, how you ever did like any challenges? Like B Dubs have the oh god, what flavor is that? I think it's like a habanero or something. They do like
I haven't done the blazing. I've done the
the
wild, but
blazing. There we go.
I
Blazing.
want to do the blazing. I guess
How was
gotta
the
do it when
wild?
my parents aren't watching.
How was the wild?
That's fine. That wasn't too bad.
Oh man, I like spicy food. I just don't want nothing where it's so hot I can't taste it. It's like my taste buds are burnt off for no reason. So like kudos to you. My heart goes out to you.
Yeah.
I would not.
Hey, it's
I
it's,
don't
it's
want
even
to.
crazier when a guy will drink hot sauce sometimes.
Yes,
I've done some shots.
just a hot sauce. Just like
Yeah.
that's the okay. That's crazy. That's funny. So speaking of it, you like broadcasting. You're in college for broadcasting. When you're taking tests in college, is it the same way? Like, how does it go? Like, you're studying broadcasting. Like, are your tests normal? Because I know, like, I took cooking classes where the criteria was to fabricate a piece of meat, or you have to make this soup and sauce or cakes and stuff like that. Like, how does it work for broadcasting?
um, let's see. It's not the best sometimes. I mean, when I was high school, I got it modified a little bit. Maybe an option taken out. No.
Yeah.
The only thing I might get, which I appreciate, is extra time.
Okay. So it's a kind of like a lot of written test, or
There's some, but I'm not. The best thing with me is I'm in a field where it's more of, instead of like written quizzes or tests, it's more of projects.
got you. Okay.
Like work at your own. It's due this day, maybe do some today, do a little bit tomorrow.
So you're able to work that. Yeah, that like I was
And
saying
that
before we
from
started.
from my perspective, that's the way I learn best anyway.
Yeah.
Do a little bit of hands-on projects. Okay, work on some today. Do a little tomorrow. Do a little the next day. Do a little the next day. Hit it hard this day. We'll finish her up tomorrow. Turn it in.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying before we started, like that's what I like about online classes. Like you're able to do kind of like at your own pace. You get these projects, you're able to learn, and you have to. It's not really nobody to necessarily cheat off of. Like you have to go in and read your books and do the discussion posts. At the same time, I would definitely love to experience actually going to college, actually being in the dorm room. Like I know in the military we have barracks and it's similar, but even just to experience like college, the college campus. I know even doing online school, I still get perks of being a student, like the little discounts and everything like that. But just a bad experience, like you said, you shooting this episode from your dorm room. Like if we was able to shoot an episode like dorm to dorm, like that'd be cool. Like I got a whole little podcast set up in the dorm room. I think that'd be great. So you spoke. We done. I think we done hit on. Is it anything that you would want the listeners to know that we haven't hit?
Well, there's not much really think of. Excuse you.
Sorry about
Uh,
that.
oh, you're fine. Don't worry about it. But thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
And
I
if you want to
appreciate you
check out my
coming on.
stuff, I appreciate it.
Yes,
And I always say this anyway. I think the world could just be nice and not act so stupid. Don't you
yes,
think we get along so much better?
yes. I mean, the tagline for my podcast is "Be genuine to yourself and kind to people." I know the world gets so caught up on, and I actually say it like people be nice, but it's also like a mean nice. Like they do what you think they're supposed to do. Like you might see somebody walking down the street that need help. You're really uncomfortable, but you kind of just like smile at them. But it's not. I always tell people like be kind to people. Like even just the acts of kindness. And I'll tell a story before we get off. In elementary, I had a friend named Alex. He was just like he was autistic. Like I think he was full blown. He couldn't really speak, but he loved him to me. Like I'll see him in the morning. We'll hug. We did classes together. And people like you said, people will be so mean. He'll go in the restroom, and like all the other guys, they're going to go use it. They don't pull their clothes all the way down. You'll just know when he's in the bathroom. You'll hear guys running out. Oh, he pulled his pants all the way down to use it. And even as a child, I didn't get it. I'm like, what? Like, what's the big deal? Like, cause me and Alex get along. We sit next together. We sat next to each other in class. Like, we did work and stuff together. And I was just, it was nothing different besides like his obvious differences. He wasn't bothering anybody, anything like that. So, like you say, just be nice. Like, be nice, be kind to people. We are trying to make it. We all
Yeah.
trying to make it.
Well,
We all
you're
human.
talking about that. I can relate to the guy because I did the same thing. My
Yeah,
pants were all the way down when I took a pee. The
yeah,
problem is though with me, when your pants are like to your ankles, maybe there's more room to use it. When it's
yeah,
literally up to your below your private area, let's just call it that,
yeah.
there's not enough room to pee.
And just like you said, like a lot of people look at people with autism or autistic or whatever, and it's like they're different. But just because the world and more people do this thing that seems normal, but it doesn't make it normal. It just makes it norm for the world or for the people that do it. That doesn't mean that people that doesn't do it should be ostracized or treated any different. When in reality, it could be a better way. It could be easier. Now you got kids with smelling like pee or whatever walking around. It's like, well, maybe if you put them down a little bit further, you'll be able to use it. But you're too worried about what somebody else has to say or what somebody making fun of you. So I think that's a great point. Like I say, thank you so much for coming on. Can you shout out your social media one more time? I know we're not
Yep.
gonna forget Autism Rocks and
Don't worry
Rolls,
about it. I'll take
but
care of that for you.
go ahead,
So
go ahead.
you can find me on info@autismrocksandrolls.com. My website's autismrocksandrolls.com. I have a YouTube channel. You can find me on your favorite media platforms, such as Podbean and Spotify.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam. I look forward to shooting another episode with you. Like, I think this is the most out of smile than laugh episode. So I really appreciate that. Hey, if you ever need anything, let me know. Send me all people that come on the show. I send them a shirt. I already know yours gonna be green. I'll jump in your inbox. I just need the size and the address to send your shirt to, and
Yeah,
then also I'll be
we'll
ordering
shirt
the shirt.
swap.
Yes, and I'll be ordering the shirt. So thank you again to everybody that's tuning in. Until next time, be genuine to yourself and kind to people. Thank y'all for checking out this episode.